As you introduced, my name is Shashi. I'm the founder of Superagentic AI. I'm an ex-Apple engineer. I worked for Apple for nearly 6+ years. And currently, I'm focusing on agent optimization and agent engineering. So first of all, the Agentic AI is everywhere. Almost every talk in this conference is covering the AI agents and Agentic AI. So it's going to be everywhere in future. So what's the current status of Agentic AI adoption in enterprises or small businesses? There are companies wanting to try Agentic AI, but there are some issues. You might have seen these issues in other talks. They started running some pilots, and the pilots are not giving the right results. They are not trustworthy, they're not reliable, the results are flaky, and the organization are basically confused whether to buy the solutions for Agentic AI or build it. So buying, if they go for buying, there are millions of solutions and millions of options in the market. And while they're trying to build it, they lack the internal skills and resources. So that's a tricky situation. And they can see clearly the value and the future because Agentic AI can be value multiplier, value accelerator. They can see there's a huge caliber. If they adopt the Agentic AI, they can get huge business benefits. The companies usually end up in two situations. They just go ahead and say, let's make a bold decision and let's do it. Or they just don't take any action and say, just let's wait and watch what's going to happen in the market. And there are risks in both of these situations. So if they take bold decisions and start doing Agentic AI applications, agent might not work well in production, or they get some issues in production. And if they don't take any actions, probably the competitor is going to take these things and knock them out of the market. So there's a risk of Agentic AI adoption everywhere. Mobile, web, but this is something different because agents are making decisions on your behalf. And now everybody is overwhelmed at the moment. If you are a business leader, if you are a VC, or if you're a startup, or even enterprises, everything has become unpredictable. Nobody can predict your future, what's going to happen in a couple of years' time. Recently, MIT produced a report that there's a 95% of agentic projects that are failed. And that's a huge number, right? So basically, if that much projects are going to fail in production, why should someone even try to do these things? And there are particular reasons why they're failing, why the rest of the 5% succeed. And if you see how the agents are built today, you have the APIs, and you have prompts, and you take any agent framework and start building AI agents. It's a software layer on top of your prompts. If you see the previous talks, they have concluded that basically agents are nothing but the prompts loop together or chain together or somehow software into the system. So, what's wrong with the prompt? Agents are being built on top of the prompt. So the prompt has high value now. A lot of IP is currently in a prompt. Prompts are great because you can define something in a natural language, get results you wanted, but they're also brittle. Means if you run the prompt against any particular model now, and if you run the same prompt in a couple of minutes, you're not going to get the same results. The results might be totally different. And they produce a different output. So if you execute the same prompt on one particular model, and if you do the same thing on another model, they give a different output. You continuously end up tinkering the prompt to make sure that your systems are working today, you have to make sure that system tomorrow. So you end up continuously tinkering the prompt. And if you design a system with the prompts targeted to a specific model, so basically you are creating the lock-in. So that means you are targeting specific models. Your prompt's going to work for the one specific model. And if you tomorrow make a decision to go for another model, then you have to do that exercise again for the new model. Previously, we just had a few thousands of tokens, now we have millions. So we just check everything inside the agents and context engineering report. And reinforcement learning techniques and fine tuning, if you have control of the model, you can do that, but you know how painful or how expensive they are. So we end up with a continuous agent tinkering. Basically, you're tinkering with LLM, you're tinkering with your knowledge, you're tinkering with data, you're changing tools, you see the new tools coming in the market, you try new protocols, you try new frameworks, so basically you are always tinkering these agents all the time. We provide you the prompt. Initially now in context engineering, integrating the data from different sources, you probably have RAG system, you have MCP tooling, you're collecting everything and now checking into the LLM. So context engineering is adding extra layer of engineering to get to the right prompt. Again, if you're doing context engineering, what you're sending to LLM is basically a prompt, which is like highly engineered prompt. And now talking about context engineering, there's another paper by Stanford University. It's Agentic context engineering. So basically what they propose is the context engineering is not going to solve any problem because context engineering is still static. You need context to be kind of a living flavor. So context needs to be updated regularly based on the feedback. When agents fail in the production, there are many reasons, like evaluation, it's an undeterministic nature of AI, you probably choose the wrong vendor, premature development of agents, and many more. People talk about a lot of these problems, and one problem that very few people talk about is agent optimization. And why this problem is being talked less in the industry is because nobody has solved it. The reason I'm saying this because if you see OpenAI release new model today, then they release the prompting guide all the time. And crazy long prompting broad code. So there are a couple of open source, one is DSPy, one is GEPA. And they are solving this thing in a systematic way. There's some good people from the industry has confirmed that, like Toby from Shopify, Anu from Dropbox, and the OpenAI even started to thinking about GEPA as optimizers for the prompt optimizers that they just released. Full stack agentic optimization means your agent doesn't need to optimize your prompt, but it needs to optimize your RAG system, it needs to optimize your memory, your MCP tooling, your protocols, basically entire context has to be optimized. Tomorrow, you see there will be a new tool, there will be a new model with different like nice capabilities. Tomorrow there will be new protocols. When you design your system, you have to be future-proof. Meaning, once you design your system, there shouldn't be any lock-in. Superagentic approach is basically it's modular, it's a future-proof, and you shouldn't have to lock into any of the vendors. You should be able to change your vendor, you should be able to change your models, you should change your agent framework that you're currently using. We have SuperOptiX product. Basically what it does, you just need to define your agent specification and your data set, and that's it. Once you do that exercise, like you define your input outputs on the expected results, everything should be modular after that step. You should be able to compile your agent with different framework. You should be able to evaluate with any evaluation matrix. You should be optimized with any optimizers currently existing in the market. You should be able to use any future protocols. That is the approach that SuperOptiX AI is taking and doing the full stack optimization across all layers. Yeah, so I'm running out of time, unfortunately, but if you want to check more about what we're doing at Superagentic AI and SuperOptiX AI, feel free to check this website. It has lots of information about how we do the full stack agentic optimization, what tools are we using, and how we're solving the problem. And the way we use it is we highly motivated by the balanced approach and the unframed approach about how we put engineers and making agentic AI scalable by going to the customers, understanding the problem, because agentic AI has changed the business model drastically. There's not going to be any solution, SaaS-based solution that you can buy right now off the shelf and use it straight away. You have to tailor your agentic system for your custom need, and that needs to be done by understanding your requirement, understanding your data, and all these things. So, our business model is basically forward deployed agents. So, instead of sending engineer to the site, we deployed agents for free. You can try agent, it is totally private within your enterprises, within your company, no data leaving your premises, and basically you can play with agent until you feel any business value out of it. And once you feel any business value, and you can see that the system is future-proof, you can use it particularly, and you can start next engagement and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it from my side. More information, feel free to check out Superagentic AI or SuperOptiX AI. That's it. Thank you so much.